come up with a time schedule. All right.
Before we get started, I just want to mention that Kevin Slack is zooming in due to a medical condition, but we do have an in-person quorum, so everybody can vote.
All right, thank you. All right, let's begin. Authorization of the payment of the bills. F&G fund vouchers 30 through 52, $12,144.51. A fund vouchers 89 through 31, $77,821.69. P&A fund vouchers 5 and 6, $13,624.56.
I'll make the motion that we pay the bills as stated.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
How they do that for the minutes, huh?
Yep.
The right way, right? Tell you what, let me go.
Well, we're getting educated.
Yeah.
Old business, none, new business. All right, first up, presentation and request from the Brockway Committee.
Okay. Well, thank you first for, why you didn't invite me, I invited myself.
I'm roused.
After the Brockway Truck Preservation Association. And I think probably the first thing I ought to do is clarify a couple of things. To give you a little history, the Brockway Truck Preservation Association formed after the first truck show, but the first truck show was 24 years ago. It was started by the Downtown Business Association in Cortland to generate business for the downtown merchants. Shirley Randolph ran a shoe store then. Of course, everybody knows Dale Taylor. Dale was big on the committee. Marianne Kane from the Historical Society. John Potter was an avid Brockway enthusiast. Craig Morgan from down towards Whitney Point was a parts man for Cooks, who had a lot of contacts. They put together the first show. Well, then it was John's dream to build a museum. And shortly thereafter, they formed the Brockway Preservation Association, Brockway Truck Preservation Association. And they meet monthly, and their major goal is the truck show. And this was all to generate revenue to go towards the museum. Realizing that it couldn't happen probably by itself, or maybe be a 2-day-a-week event, the Homeville group was formed. And they were looking to start a museum. So we thought maybe we'd join in. And so we started having meetings. And the Toys Group, which is Tractors of Yesteryear, came along merely as exhibitors with no financial responsibilities, but also another draw to this museum. And thus, with that happening, formed the CNY Living History Center. But the Brockway Trucks Preservation Association, as I said, started 24 years ago. The CNY Living History Center came about 11 years ago. So this event, just to clarify, is hosted by the Brockway Truck Preservation Association. Now, we have a board, we have our own board, we meet monthly, third Thursday of every month, except for November and December, obviously with holidays. But our main goal is to plan this truck show. And I want to tell you, you did us a super favor by allowing us to come to Homer last year. It was met with open arms by our group, but especially by the Brockway community. You know, I can't tell you how many times people have called or sent letters or just spoke or told other people, hey, if you missed Homer, you better get there next year, because it was really something. One young fellow said to me, he says, he said it was getting kind of stale in Cortland. He said, I didn't want to see it die on the vine. But he said, what a true revitalization this was. He said, it was just amazing. The way the merchants came out, the way the ward got behind us, the police department, the DPW, it was great. And I want to thank you for that. And obviously we'd like to host the show again in Homer. with your blessing and I'd like to see this come to another level, you know what I mean? It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. There's very few truck shows that are one make or one brand. And, we're averaging, you know, over 125 trucks a year, which is phenomenal for that. A lot of shows, all brands don't even come up with that many. And they did start right here in Homer, you know, it's something to be proud of and something we can build on. But, I'd like again, like I say, I can't say enough for what you did last year and we hope to do it again. Now Cindy does a great job for us, Cindy Stoker over there, our director. But, you know, if we have issues or whatever, I wish you'd please contact the Brockway Truck Association. Not the, you know, she has enough on her plate at the CNY Living History Center. Although she is one of our best workers on our committee. But, and if you want to leave a message with her, she'll make sure we get it. We can address any issues or problems. So again, we've been putting the show on for 24 years. So as far as insurances and things like that, contacts with police and stuff, we do have a little bit of experience there. So, did you have any comments? I have a couple of wishes.
Well, I mean, my comment would be I think we should be thanking you.
No, we love it.
We were thrilled that you came to Homer, and I think it was fantastic. We got great feedback, and
Yeah,
of course, we want you to come back.
Absolutely.
well, like I said, you guys did a great job. Bob did a super job with the police department.
Mhm.
I guess in addition, you did the Porta Johns for us last year.
Mhm.
Could we do a couple extra?
Sure can.
Maybe in the Key Bank parking lot or something? We'll get permission for that.
Mhm.
From Sue.
Yeah, I think we already planned to get some more.
Okay. Had a couple of people that I told them they were over by the church, but they couldn't see that far. You sure? I don't want to walk all the way over there. I might not make it. But
Want that.
no, but the Village Green, the bandstand, everything worked out super. Cindy had a bunch of young people playing the cornhole games that you guys put out. You know,
We'll do that again this year.
yes,
Mhm.
we'd love to do that. And,
Sure.
I don't know, did you do the tables and chairs? The Elks bring them for sitting on the green?
Yeah.
I know they
Yeah,
had, they had their food booth there. Were they all theirs or?
I guess they were, yeah, but we had talked about having a lot more.
Yeah, we had
Tables and
some
chairs.
requests for some older people that love to sit out, especially in the shade, so.
Mhm.
But, you know, it was only our first year. We were 20 years in Cortland trying to perfect it. We never got there.
Yep, we talked about that. What else can we do?
Well, we'll keep an open mind, but I think that'll get us a good start.
Okay. Yeah.
Cindy, can you think of something else?
Yes, we had talked about at one point in time, potentially putting another shuttle stop at the intermediate school.
Yes, I forgot that.
Yeah, but we can do that.
Just because we did have a number of people that parked there and then didn't realize
They got the wrong school.
they got the
Sure.
wrong school, which was great for watching the parade, but not so much for transportation downtown.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I just think that if this continues to go the way we think it's going to, we're gonna need that. And also a question that I have is what's going on with the parking behind the Congregational Church during that time frame?
That's the school.
Mhm.
I can answer that for you. Tom Turk is going to be organizing a meeting for parking. It's actually something that we were discussing later. And we've already asked the school about using the other facility too. We sent a letter to Tom Turk on that. But there's no parking behind the Congregational Church because of the construction at the school. So Tom's going to have a meeting with everybody who has festivals and then go from there to figure out parking.
Okay, so that could potentially be another use for that other shuttle bus if it's needed.
I think I remember they're going to be moving the playground
Mhm.
and expanding the parking lot over there, so that's why it's gonna be under construction this summer.
Okay.
We should put some wheels on that playground. Yeah. Yeah, the, shuttle service there worked out great. I guess, was Bob in charge of that?
No.
No, we
Tammy-
were,
Tammy,
yeah.
the village set it up.
Can we familiarize the driver with?
Yes.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, in the middle of the parade, we had the firemen coming down. They said, I got a bus down here on the middle of James Street trying to get into Main Street. She said she's supposed to drop people off here.
Yeah, I will make sure.
And, thank you for the fire department too. I mean, they did a great job backing her up the street, get people out of the way and turning her around, but. Yeah, that led to a little confusion early on. But as I said, it's our first trip, so,
I want you to bring back that furnace so you can make those little plates.
I found you a couple. Guy wants to sell a couple of those.
Well, I wanted to see him make it.
I don't know what happened to that fella.
He was up at the university, they were just doing a blast furnace, which is, to me, so cool.
And he took it to some people in Marathon and they came back. But we told them, make a bunch ahead of time. They
Yeah,
made a few
yeah.
and they sold out in 10 minutes. And
Yeah, of course they will.
you can't make them, they're
Yeah.
hot. So,
Yeah.
they couldn't get, they're writing down orders and it just kind of fell through. But yeah, that fellow at the college came to us at a meeting. And he actually cast that, the Brockway Husky bench that's down there.
Okay.
So if, construction on Main Street keeps up there, you guys want to go down and swipe that.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got this job for you to talk to you later. No.
Well, again, thank you very much for letting me speak.
No, of course, I hope that you dream and think of more,
Well,
because we have 10 million bucks for downtown revitalization. And I mean, more parking and other kind of things, and so part of that, we've got a promenade coming and all that, there's gonna be more stuff going on in Homer, and you guys are shops and businesses really enjoy the extra people and stuff like that. So it's good for the community and it gives us all something to do. It's safe and, and it's good. And so, yeah.
I remember being out front.
Think
with
bigger.
the boys there about 10 in the morning.
Hal?
Rob says, I thought you said there were gonna be a lot of people here today. And it was just a sea of people out in front of the store. Unbelievable.
Yes, Tanya?
They already sent a letter requesting parking in the place that we allowed them to. Cindy sent me that they would like to use the parking again in the contract we did. It was on Route 11.
Yeah, we have the final
So
MOU today, but it's gonna be signed 2 weeks from now because it's gonna be.
Yep, so that you could know and tell them.
Okay.
That's, I was already gonna do that, but thank
Okay,
you.
and at the same time, we're asking about MOUs. This is completely aside from Broadway. Tom, are you done? So I can do this or?
Fire away.
The FASB convention's coming into New York or to Homer, July 21st and 22nd. Much of that, which even though we're not in the village, we might as well be. A lot of that event is going to be taking place at the CNY Living History Center. I'm respectfully asking if for July 21st and 22nd, the CNY Living History Center may also have permission to use the linear park for parking.
Of course, we'll arrange that.
Okay, do you want me to leave, Deanna, you've got these dates or you want me to leave these with you?
You can leave it to me, and I'll just take what we have
On my way out.
already.
Yeah,
Yep, it'd be great.
thank you.
That's an easy one.
We had a preliminary to FASB at the museum this weekend and it went very well.
Okay,
But they're anticipating possibly 150 people to be at our location.
oh, good.
Looking at parking, hope to not need it. We've already checked with Dave and he's good across the street, but if we do, I'd rather ask
Right.
for it, not need it than not ask for it and need it.
Sure,
Thank you very much.
great. All set?
I'm all set. You want me to get out of here now?
No,
Welcome to stick around, Tom.
See how tough you are.
Because next up, we've got the reality check.
I'm Nikki Cooper and I work with these lovely, young adults. Basically, I work through the health department and the Advancing Tobacco-Free Communities grant. My role is youth development. And they're gonna give you some of their experiences in, the local area, having to do with tobacco and the things that they do. And I'm going to start off with Kayla, who's gonna talk a little bit about, what it is we do and what they do.
If I could ask if everyone to just move up, maybe in front of the flag, so we can get on camera, so we can see names and faces, please.
Go up over here, just so you can be in front of the camera.
Right over here.
Right on the flag.
Between
Very American.
Yeah, between Lincoln and
You
Washington.
guys all want to go over there together.
Yeah,
but
very nice.
That way you're not leaving one up to
So, we go on informing communities about tobacco marketing and how it affects teenagers like us. Yeah.
So we're here to talk to you about not only the facts, but our personal experiences with high schoolers. First of all, there are 2 tobacco retailers, the 2 gas stations, about a block away from the high school. And we see a lot of high schoolers when they have free time and after school, they go there, even if it's just to get lunch. But the tobacco and vape products are pretty much right in their face. And it's very accessible to them. And we see that move into school. It's a big problem right now, especially people vaping in the bathrooms. It's gotten so bad that the doors have been left open, the main bathroom doors. And I know in other local schools, they have been completely removed. But it's still pretty easy for kids to vape in like the stalls. And we've also seen not only high schoolers, but middle schoolers start to vape. It's become a very big problem. When I was in middle school, there was much less middle schoolers vaping, but now I've seen in the community especially, and I've heard about in schools, that they've been getting in trouble for vaping. And Melissa will talk to you a little bit about some of the consequences.
Yeah, so there's a lot of consequences that go on with all of this vaping academically. To add on to what Olivia said, a lot of kids are getting suspended, so they're missing a bunch of time in school from this. And also because of the cravings, they'll go into the bathroom, and when they do that, they're taking time out of their learning. So they'll go into the bathroom instead of going to school for learning. They're doing that instead. In addition to the consequences we see in academics, there's also some in extracurricular activities. So in sports, I've seen a lot of my fellow peers who've worked so hard to get on these varsity teams and these positions that they're in to get kicked off their teams. So all the work that they put in just got erased because they're addicted to these vapes. And a big component that fuels these addictions is the flavors. So there's menthol, but then there's also all these fruity flavors, and these are very attractive to young kids because it's like bubble gum. Why wouldn't a kid want to go get that? And so Autumn's going to talk about some other areas in students' lives where you can see these negative effects.
Yeah, so another place where it's seen a lot is musicals and stuff like that. Kids doing musical stuff for their school, like band, chorus, doing the big shows, the musicals. And just in general, when a kid who's, done it and been through it, you can see how much it physically and mentally kind of puts on them and damages them, and kind of it's so hard for them to actually, be there even. And of course get kicked out and things like that. But even before all of that, it's just really tough to see like people feel so awful and be addicted to it and get depressed and just, it's awful. So it definitely affects like overall in school and academics outside of school, like musicals and sports and things like that. And just, yeah, I just want to help people. So, yeah.
So you have some solutions or something
Oh.
that you're looking for us
I'm gonna
to do or say?
her, she's gonna talk about policy.
Hi, I'm Jen. Jen Hamilton. I work alongside Nikki and these awesome youth here in the Reality Check program. The Reality Check is statewide. We're just really fortunate to have some really great group of kids. We've had them over the years and they've done really tremendous things in trying to expose what the industry, how the industry markets to them, gets them to use their product, recruits them, and they're grasping that there are people out there that don't do good things. So me as a community engagement coordinator, Nikki as the youth engagement, we try to work together to come up with strategies to prevent youth tobacco use. And so what, I'm coming in here is to, talk with communities, to talk with local governments, that there is a way that you can help. I mean, schools are struggling, not just Homer. Really taking a lot of time out of their schedules, the resources, the time, and the kids who are becoming addicted to these products. But there's a way that we can all come together to try to, put an attack on what the industry is doing. They've come up with these vapes. We're doing so well with cigarettes, with traditional tobacco products, and now new products are evolving. And so, what I would, look to local governments and communities is that you can assist, you can help with schools and families that are struggling with this. And that can mean doing something around regulation. You've done a great job with parks, with municipal grounds and making them tobacco vape free. But we could also look at the retail environment. We talked a little bit about that and how the industry really focuses in on neighborhood stores. So we do have localities in New York State that have adopted policies that would pretty much manage where sales can occur. And that could include just capping the number of stores that can sell in that community. Right now you have 3. We've got the 2 gas stations there and the IGA are the 3. And we could also look at even new retailers that might come in and prevent them from being near school property. And that's another opportunity. So where I can come in to help is that I do have access to some model ordinances that we can provide if you're interested in looking at those and seeing what some of the other towns and villages have done. We can share those with you as well if there's some interest there.
Well, yeah, we talked about this a couple of years ago, and I don't think we ever could come up with, and I know Dante's come up with exactly what legislation, because we talked about grandfathering the 3 existing and then sort of putting moratorium from there, but we couldn't really get to I think a plan that worked, but I'm interested in exploring it again. So if you could send some of that legislation, you can review it, that would be great.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great. Absolutely. I'd send along those things.
Yeah, because I think we just hit a point where we didn't know how to move forward from where we were. So
Okay. Yeah, I'd be happy to send
Great.
this along.
Fantastic.
Sure.
where are they getting, where does middle school kid get a vape? Get
That
vape
should
stuff?
be 18 to buy that. stuff.
21 now. It's 21 now.
21, see, I'm out of it. Yeah, 21, so how are they getting it? So seems like some STEM programs going on
There's-
would be appropriate maybe.
There's a variety of ways. And maybe you guys can chime into, yeah.
So first of all, people who are above 21, 21 or above, can buy these products for, these children. That's one way they can get it. And also, the reason why they want these products is because they see their high school friends and older siblings and even parents using these products, and now they want to because they think it's cool. So yeah, that's
Yeah, and to add on what Olivia said, they're also like these younger kids are wanting it because they see like TikTok videos or like things on social media with kids our age using these products. And so of course, like they look up to us as like the like, cool older kids. And so they want to get into those types of products as well.
Yeah, and to add on to what Alyssa's saying is I've seen, yes, there are like ads and things that are against like these and whatnot, like on these platforms like TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But you will still see people on TikTok or people on YouTube or Twitch like vaping and be just fine, but it's not okay because these young kids who really shouldn't be on there are seeing it anyways, even if they are, and it's not good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see some of the data, during COVID and when we had the social, isolation. That took away a lot of the social supports where, we're going into school and clubs and things like that.
But you guys more or less said that it's in the schools now. I mean,
Absolutely.
you go into the restrooms or lavatories and, it's all going on. So that means
Sharing it.
21-year-olds been buying it and giving it to 14, 15, 16, 17, even 18-year-olds. Some of you may be seniors, I don't know. I turned 18 in April, 1965. They allow drinking in, but that's beside the point, not anymore. So anyhow, somebody's been passing it on phone and sounds like, seems like you gotta get, like those old movies, undercover cops to go in and find out who's doing it and then call
The
the
health
police on them.
does have a program that goes in to do compliance checks, and they happen every now and then.
The school has to leave the doors open. It's very common. It's not just a strange 1 out of 400. It's, I don't know what the number is, but I think there's 800 students over there at the high school. So if you gotta leave the doors off, that's kind of a serious.
Yeah.
So some 21-year-old plus is giving vapes to people they shouldn't be. I don't
And
know.
sometimes
I'm
we
not a
do
law
get-
enforcement
we do
person,
get
but that
underage-
sounds like what you need is something like that. I don't know how you fix that. That's not right.
I
All
believe,
right.
sorry, I believe also that youth are able to get it online. There's loopholes to get online.
They cheat. Yeah, they say they're 21 and they're not. All right. Sounds like a stone lounge, Everybody said they were 21, they weren't. Yeah, all right.
And also with like the bathroom door thing, other schools have like gone even further, taking even like ceiling tiles out. I know at one point our school had like people sitting outside the bathroom doors, watching people come in the lobby.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, anyhow, I'm against it and I'm supporting. I don't know what we can do here, but send some in your legislation or something. So, yeah, we gotta keep you guys safe and healthy. There's no doubt about that.
Thank you for what you're doing now. It's
Yeah,
important.
Pretty brave of you, by the way.
Yeah.
And thank you.
We're not so bad, really. Old and scary, but not that bad. Well, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much.
Very brave of you. Very proud of you.
Ready? Okay. Siren. Good job.
I think guts.
All right. Next up, accept Lawrence Barber's retirement from Water and Sewer Superintendent effective May 6, 2023, contingent on New York State paperwork.
I can't believe that paperwork is such a hassle one.
I'll make a motion that we accept his retirement on May 6th, contingent upon paperwork.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
I'm gonna miss him.
Nay.
Who nayed?
Kevin.
Doesn't want him to go.
All right, next up, appoint Keith White as Water and Sewer Superintendent effective as of Lawrence Barber's retirement.
I'll make that motion that we appoint Keith White as Water and Sewer Superintendent effective as of Lawrence Barber's retirement.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Kevin, you're an eye on that one, I hope?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, next up, approve water sewer credit request.
It appears that this is in line with our policy
Mhm.
and the problem has been fixed. So I'll make a motion that we approve the water and sewer credit request.
I'll second that.
All right. It's a request for a water amount $52.34 and sewer amount $114.79. All right, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Very good. Accept Donna Codis's retirement as account clerk.
I'll make the motion that we accept their resignation. We're gonna miss her.
Yep,
Good person.
Yeah, I'll second it.
discussion?
Big party on Thursday though.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, next up, approve removing Donna from all village accounts. Changing to Tanya De Janeiro, treasurer on all accounts, including letter to First National Bank.
Make a motion that we remove Donna Codis from all village accounts and change the name to Tanya De Janeiro.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Okay, approve moving Glenwood Cemetery
No,
to,
that's one.
oh, I'm sorry. Approve replacing Donna Codis with Maureen Hoy as deputy registrar.
I'll make a motion that we replace Donna Cotis with Maureen Hoy as the deputy registrar.
I'll
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? Now, approve moving Glenwood Cemetery to underneath the DPW.
This is supposed to be happening anyway, but this codifies it to make sure the cemetery department is under the complete Department of Public Works.
I'll make that motion that we codify that Glenwood Cemetery falls under the purview of the DPW.
I'll second it.
Well, just a little bit of discussion on my part. I'm not sure I fully understand what we're doing here.
We're just moving it over so that Phil will be in charge of the cemetery overall. Because the cemetery sexton is a part-time position and does report to DPW for the other part of the year.
Okay,
This makes sense.
yeah. All right, I'm good.
We have a motion, we have a second, we've completed discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, unanimous. Next up, approve a resolution for No Mow May. And note registration deadline of May 5th, so. This is to help pollinators. And this was, the city is doing this, and I thought it might not be a bad idea. There is a pollinator crisis. So basically, residents could go the month of May without mowing if they register for this, and they won't be cited for any code violations. It gives the, pollinators a chance to thrive, so it's an optional.
There's a
They
resolution
gotta-
to
they
read
gotta
into
cut the hay,
the minutes if you'd like.
It's a resolution, and Dan would need to read it. Go ahead, Dan.
Declare no mow May for 2023. Whereas plants of all types, including food crops, gardens, trees, and others depend on pollinators to reproduce. And whereas pollinators have been under significant anthropogenic pressure in recent years resulting in a significant decline. And whereas early spring is a time of vulnerability for pollinators as they emerge from hibernation and food sources are scarce. And whereas residential yards can be an important stopgap nectar source for pollinators if left to grow naturally during this critical period. And whereas lawn mowing removes flowers of violets, dandelions, and other flowering lawn plants, now therefore be it resolved that the Village of Homer declares the month of May 2023 as No Mow May. And it invites homeowners to register their properties to participate by pledging not to mow in the month of May. And be it further resolved that the Village of Homer Code Department is directed to not issue citations during the month of May 2023 for lawn height for properties which are enrolled in the No Mow May program by May 5th, 2023 through the Village of Homer offices. Duly noted that it's our code is 6 inches. That's usually when you get cited. But for anyone who wants to participate, please contact the village office by Friday, May 5th, 2023 to register. We will not take late registrants.
There you have it.
I think this is a great idea because when I first got married, my father-in-law was heavily involved with Cornell University with bird watching and bee watching and all that stuff. And I accidentally killed a bumblebee in front of him. And he said, "What the hell are you doing?" So it's really important that we do this because the pollination and the fact that the bumblebees generate so much pollination is really important to what we're doing here.
I agree.
Terry Benda, thank you for putting this on the agenda.
Of course.
One question is, how do you plan on marketing this or getting it out to the community, and how can I help do that?
We'll definitely do a Facebook post on it, and I don't know if there's time to get it in the next issue of the village.
It'll be.
Unless it's being published tomorrow, we can do that.
Yes. And then we'll
Yes,
probably,
the Homer News deadline was last week. It won't get in before the deadline.
okay. We'll talk about it on the radio as well, and then,
Yeah, we got to do the radio station.
yeah, so
Is there a way I can get a copy of that to?
the resolution?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here.
What can you say?
So, yeah, so, look for the post on our Facebook page, and reshare that, obviously, and then the story will be written.
What do you need to register? Just tell you.
Just
Come
have
All
the-
in name, office, their address, phone numbers, things like that, so we can put a list together. And as I said, Friday the 5th at 4:30.
I'll try to
that'll be
do
the
it.
link
I'm
time.
registering.
I'll do it.
Does this get any us bonus parts on the Green Smart program or anything like that as far as grants?
I
go?
don't think it is. I think this is just a good thing to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, super.
If I can get Kim Hubbard to put this in the upcoming edition, am I allowed to do that?
Of course.
Yeah, one,
I'm gonna try.
Sure, no, I mean, I think the Homer News comes out. When is the next one?
Well, today's Tuesday. I sent him something once and I meant it for the next issue, but he got it after the date. And he still put it in.
I'd call him tonight.
So I'm gonna go up for it.
Right now.
Right, do you want 2 copies of it? So you can leave one with him? Sure.
Homer News get come out the 30th.
Thank you. If it was on Thursday, okay, I'll take one.
Is it coming out this week?
Oh, sure. Oh, you scribble all over it.
I think the next deadline is next Wednesday. Just
Yeah,
because this past Wednesday was our last deadline.
It just came out on the
Last week.
when it came out last Thursday, right?
Yeah,
The 20th.
yeah.
So the next time it'll come out will be the 5th. So it'll come out the day that everything's. That
People will have to get on it, get on the horn right
they'll
now.
have to get, yeah, so. All right.
They put in there, call the village office today.
Today.
And, is that Friday, May 5th?
Yep.
We have a voicemail box.
Just for generalities, no, goes into all of our different office phones.
Cause I just wonder if people could leave, if we're closed at that point, if they could leave a voicemail with their name and address and register that way.
Facebook.
Or email, they could email, right?
Well, see, I war against that.
All right, we'll put some information, but they can email the village office as well.
Hey, we're trying.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, did we vote? We have a motion?
We don't have a motion, we don't have anything.
We don't have anything.
I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution for no mow May.
Second,
Registration deadline of May 5th.
All right, having seconds, any more discussion?
Yes, how about between the sidewalk and the road? That's kind of a,
Yeah, that's their property too.
yeah, but it's kind of a safety issue.
Well, unless it gets to be 3 feet high.
So that's my question is, are we doing between the sidewalk and the road as well?
I guess it's a discretionary issue. I don't know.
You know,
Good
and
question, Pat.
some of our, I think we need to look into that for especially our state and county roads.
Yeah, the corners on intersections like Charlie Spina's corner.
Right.
That was
You guys think the grass is gonna grow in May?
Let's hope. Let it grow.
It's not bamboo.
No, I'm just, you know, if you guys don't think it's an issue, I have concerns about that.
And if it is, we can.
I can only see it getting about, yeah.
All right, well, let's do the over under on how high the grass is gonna get.
And you're probably not cutting it in April.
7 3/4 inches, as I say, it won't get any higher than that.
Okay, I'll take the 30-1 on that.
All I gotta do is say 8 inches or higher, so.
Well, yeah, but see then, you know, well, you're right, yeah. If you go over, but then if you go over, yeah, I should have said 1 inch, then it's like Price is Right.
Yeah.
Anyway. We have a motion and a second.
That was my concern was, you know, some of the roads between the sidewalk and road and the intersection.
And the caveat is that it's a safety issue, the homeowner should know enough to mow it. We have
Not
smart,
ticketing them,
we have smart residents. in
Yeah.
this village.
All right.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, very good. Thank you. Okey dokey. Next up is approving a budget adjustment. We got some money back from FEMA and
It's pretty cool.
we are getting that dumpster with a lid, and so the rest in contingency.
I'm so
Great.
surprised.
So, yeah, this was money spent from the regular fund, so it doesn't have to be put back. So there's no budget dollars for this, and so the village has to create a budget. The rest was going to contingency until the village comes up with a plan for the difference.
Okay,
The dumpster will actually have a lid because when they suggested it, they didn't suggest a lid, and they want a lid to keep things out of it's for the glass dumpster.
sure, I figured, yeah. All right,
I'll make a motion that we accept the budget adjustment as stated.
I'll second.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, okay. All right, next up, approve the updated accounts payable policy.
Yeah, can you read that for us? No, I'm joking, man.
The auditing one is a little longer.
Yeah.
So this policy is more for changes until we fill the account clerk, and then we revert it back. So
Got
so that's why all the changes and the extra exceptions in there.
Right,
I'll make a motion to accept the accounts payable voucher policy changes as written.
I'll second it.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. Next up, approve the updated auditing claims policy.
I'll make a motion we accept the auditing claims policy or process. Adjustments.
What's changed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the only thing that changed in there is not really related to the other changes. When it got approved, the very bottom was somehow deleted, which allows what we use as if we need a check run in between, that the two audit claim persons can come sign it. Somehow it was in the org book approved without that.
Hey, there you go.
And
All right, I'll second.
All right.
So we have motion and a second.
I mean,
You made a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next up, approve accepting donations from Plan First.
Well, this is internet for the softball field, and I think it's a good idea. But I also did see that it's gonna cost us $800 to pay.
the reason we would spend the $800 is because Bob needs access also to the cameras, and this is gonna allow Bob to have access to the cameras. And we also budget dollars for Griggs Field every year, and this would be what it's for.
I don't have a problem with the $100, but it's not. you know,
Oh, yeah.
it's a donation,
I'm
but
just telling you why.
Right.
an additional $800, which is nothing compared to what those cameras do for us and save money. These are awesome. I'll make the motion that we
Well,
accept the,
I'm just not sure why are they doing this?
they want to
There's
have,
a couple
go ahead.
why they're doing the internet. The reason why Little League looked into it is because, one, they do want to do the concession stands and can't take payments, but the other really is for the safety and access of the kids' information. Nobody's phones are working over there, and the board members have had to leave to access, like a kid was left there, the parents didn't come. It was just inadvertent time mix-up. And they couldn't even find the parent's phone number without leaving, which means leaving the child with somebody else. So that's
Okay.
why they talked to them first, and they came up with, and that's why they're donating it all. They
Okay.
also said the cameras Bob's can't access and he'd be able to.
Okay,
I support this, and I think it's, you know, a great example again of how Wi-Fi is becoming a necessity even for kids' sports, so that they can
Has their health records
Right.
on it and everything right there.
exactly look
Yeah,
up
so-
quick information, get a hold of parents, take credit cards so that people can, you know, financially support them. I think it's something we should do.
yes, absolutely. Okay.
Motion's been made, it's been
Yep.
seconded.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up, approve various requests to waive park rental fees.
When we had our recreation committee meeting last week, we discussed a few groups that were seeking to use some of our pavilions for different activities. The recreation committee considered each request separately, and each one was unanimously approved, with the hope that the board would approve the request to waive park fees. I believe that Cloud9 Enrichment is a homeschool group. They want to use one of our pavilions in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. It's not a high use time, and we wouldn't otherwise expect that somebody would be reserving the pavilion. We've traditionally allowed the Youth Bureau and the Cub Scout Pack also to take advantage of our pavilions without a fee.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion that we waive park rental fees for Cloud9 Enrichment, Pack 1 Cub Scouts, and Cortland Youth Bureau.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we got a recreation refund. $10 to Sarah Vogel for residency adjustment.
I'll make a motion that we approve the recreation refund for the residency adjustment.
I'll sign this was, or I'll second that. This was just an oversight. We charge our residents something different. The village is supporting recreation programs on their behalf, and this was just a mix-up.
No problem. All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, approve hosting softball camp June 27th through June 30th.
All good. I'll make a motion when you appoint hire Christie Helen.
No, this is the hosting the softball camp first,
Oh, okay,
June 27th through June 30th.
that we hosted, sure.
Where is it going to be?
I assume it's gonna be at
High school?
I think it's gonna be be on the.
No,
south-
it will be at Kaleo Field where
Yeah.
they
Oh.
normally play.
Okay.
The new net.
All right.
I made the
You
motion.
made a motion, do we have a second
I'll second it.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next up, approve hiring Kristen Hui as a softball camp instructor.
I'll make that motion that we accept Kristen as an instructor.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
See, an item didn't make the agenda is the camp-based cost and multiple siblings. Something to discuss.
Oh, okay. All right. So they're looking, next up would be seeking approval to offer a discounted softball camp rate for multiple siblings. So a $10 discount per sibling.
This is an idea that was unanimously endorsed by the Recreation Committee. I don't think that there are many families, honestly, that'll take advantage of it, that have multiple kids doing the same activities. But to make it more affordable for our residents, the committee believes that this is the appropriate fee schedule for families with more than one child.
Makes sense to me.
Great.
Second that.
All right, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. All right, next up, approve hosting a tennis camp July 10th through 13th.
I don't have any problem with that. I'll make a motion that we do that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. Next up, approve appointing Nancy Cavalier as tennis camp instructor.
I'll make the motion that we approve appointing Nancy Cavalier as the tennis camp instructor.
Second.
Discussion?
Go ahead.
Aye.
Yes, okay. Okay, next up, approve letter appointing Tanya De Janeiro as trust fund trustee for the Edward Jones accounts and signing required Edward Jones paperwork.
I'll make that motion that we approve a letter to have. It's fine.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
Who's doing it now?
It has to be re-upped.
So you have to, yeah, this has to be redone.
Okay. All right. I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next up, approve Ames linen contract for the fire department.
I don't know anybody else that does it, so I think you almost have to. I'll make a motion that we approve the Ames Linen Service contract.
I'll second
Second.
that.
All right, fine.
I beat you to that, Kevin.
Thank you.
Our internet's too slow. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, next up is to accept the fire department annual report.
I was
Cal,
very.
before you do that, Jay wanted me to tell you that he apologized for leaving because he wanted to be there to answer questions, but he coaches Little League and he had to run to coach his team.
No problem.
The report was very thorough
Yeah.
and the comments by, all the chiefs and the president, I thought were
They were
outstanding.
excellent. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So thank you guys and ladies that wrote all those. That was. really-
Yes, I did as well, Ed.
I thought that was excellent. I did read them. So, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to.
So Pat, unless you don't want to, I'll make a recommendation to accept that as written.
I'll second Kevin's motion.
Very good. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. Next up, approve paying bond payments via wire.
Well,
Dan, how many more payments do we have on 501?
Should be one.
It is the 25,000 principal and the 656.25, and then it is all paid up.
Wow.
So on Thursday, this
Nice.
fire truck will be paid off.
is that,
We
is
have
that-
to do it by Friday because the deadline is Sunday.
How many years was this?
I have to look it up.
I think it was
20.
And 20?
Yeah.
20 or 20?
yeah, is that the only bond payment that we have, guys?
We've got the water
The
tank.
water tank.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
But we already have a very, very low debt per resident.
Right.
Like to keep that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, me too.
Keep it going.
So I guess after all the comments, I'll make a motion that we approve paying the bond payments via wire.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Really? Okay, next up, approve Ronald and Joan Shearer cemetery deed buyback.
Policy, so I'll make a motion that we do
Yep.
that.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And then discuss updates on the following. First, we can do the Arbor Day tree planting.
So the Arbor Day tree planting, which has been in the Homer News, will be this Saturday, the 29th at 10 o'clock a.m. We'll be planting a red oak. So it'll be a ceremonial planting. We will have the hole dug. We will have the tree there. I would like to see as many of us as possible that could make it. It shouldn't take very long. It's not going to be a long drawn out thing. Maybe we'll read the proclamation and then put that tree on the ground and plant it.
10 a.m. Well, all right.
Red oak makes nice furniture too.
Yeah.
Not that we want to cut the tree down or anything.
Not for 70 or 75 years.
Not for. It's very nice. Nice.
But this also will go towards us going for Tree City USA status by having this ceremony. Next thing we'll have to do after this is get an ordinance, which we can, we'll look at some other ones and come up with something.
And while we're doing it, I would like to make sure people don't do volcanoes on their trees, which are killing them.
Yeah,
If you can, I mean, certain people just gotta do it. I know, that must be something you can't help yourself with.
Yeah, just
Not
just
good
limit
for the trees.
limit it.
Yeah, if you can, and think about it, folks that are doing it. Not gonna name names, but I like to live in the city or the village.
Okay.
Where are you planting the tree?
Newton, oh, I'm sorry, thank you, Newton Park. We actually have two trees that we got through, that we're getting through a grant. The second tree is coming a little bit later, but due to the location, that one's not conducive to having a crowd. So we're gonna do the ceremony at Newton Park where there's plenty of room. We'll plant the second tree at a later date.
All right, next up, the Sharps program.
So back in September 14th of 2021, we had a presentation on a Sharps program. And we said we would let it go for a year and then we get an update on it. It started, the program started on around February of 2022. And so I asked for an update, and this is what I got, was the PHC RCC funding was supposed to last through June 2024 with possibility of renewal. But when the federal government decided it was tied to COVID funding and that COVID funding has ceased, this funding was pulled from the New York State AIDS Institute. So the final numbers is between December 2021 and March 2023, the team procured 173 new participants in the syringe exchange program, provided harm reduction services from their mobile unit. They had weekly appointments and special arrangements with many folks in Cortland County, including folks in Homer. And of course, we've given them permission to use the linear park, and then some construction was being done. They had to move, so they actually did more point of service with their clients. They processed over 5,000 pounds of syringe waste from participants and local organizations and from the 3 Cortland County kiosks, including the one stationed at the Homer Police Department. Also in that time, the team did 84 referrals for folks requesting medically assisted treatment. Many of those had services at Reach Medical and CARS, which is the Q Addiction Response Service. They had some telemed providers anywhere from Buffalo to Long Island that assisted. They partnered with Healing Hearts Collaborative and were able to do 2,400 Narcan trainings in the to community members, college students, and at-risk people who used injected drugs. That would, okay, so the good news is that even though the funds are gone, staff still has a mobile van that will continue to provide services in Cortland County, although greatly reduced. The staff has gone down to one, so they won't be as visible, but they are not leaving the participants that they have. They're using monies from other prevention grants to continue the work, and also they have a second mobile unit. The Healing Study Unity also has a van equipped with resources and 3 staff, a nurse, and 2 harm reduction specialists. And they will be in Cortland County at least 2 times weekly, as they also serve Broome County. So one of the things that we discussed was the wraparound services, which is so important. Just besides the syringe exchange, you have to have the wraparound services that they have. The director said he would be happy to come back and give another presentation or an outbrief if the board so desired.
A great update. Sounds like it was a pretty successful program.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, leaves and branches pickup policy beginning on May 1st. Do we have anything specific on that, or is it just our policy?
So our policy, just to reiterate,
Yep.
month of May, month of October is pickup time. People jump the gun a little bit this season. As always, though, whenever there's storm debris, we always pick that
We
up.
always pick up storm debris,
No
yeah,
matter when that happens.
but
And certainly call the office if a storm happens and somebody hasn't come by your residence, call the village office and we'll rectify it.
May is when you put out your leaves and branches. All right.
Branches all in one line, so they can run it through the chipper.
All right, next DRI updates. So we are going to be having our kickoff meeting. There's a core group meeting next week.
Yeah, Monday, May 8th.
Monday, May 8th. And then the first official real meeting will be was 16th.
Tuesday the 16th,
Tuesday the 16th.
for around the village, things like that.
Yeah, they found a consultant finally.
Oh.
So May
I think-
is where, and is it open to the public?
May is not open to the public. No, it's just a core group. So it's basically, you know, a few people.
It's not me, by the way.
The full committee though, on 16th, that should be open, I believe. I'm not sure, but I'll check. But going forward after that, I know all the meetings are open to the public. And we encourage them to do that.
Yeah. That's good.
All right. Comments by the attorney?
We didn't do, I didn't see public comments.
Privilege of the floor.
Privilege of the floor.
Privilege of the floor. Anyone want to speak? Privilege of the floor. Once, twice, thrice.
Okay.
Okay. Dan, Dante, you got anything?
No, nothing for me.
Okay. Board member comments. Good. Nothing from Ed.
Quick, very quick. Homer has a 10U softball team that is in search of a coach. So if there's anybody out there who is interested in donating some of their time over the next 8 weeks, practices, and then once games start, probably 2 to 3 evenings a week. Season is very short, and we would certainly appreciate it if anyone is interested to contact the village.
Contact the village.
Give back to the community.
What you got?
So I want to commend our water and sewer department. We got the water report. Did we come in them last time? Or did we get it
No.
since the last meeting?
We got it since the last meeting, yeah.
So the water and sewer report came in. We got good reviews by everybody, and they commended Buzz and the team. One of the things they did mention though is the water tank up on the east side, which we've identified that we know we got to do something with. So that'll probably be something for further discussion in the very near future.
Yep. I know that we're gonna look into some grants. I know there's a WIA grant that they were kind of looking into that looks like it's a 60% grant, which is not too bad.
Those applications.
I think that's something that we should move up on our agenda though, really.
Yeah.
We have applied a couple times for the water tank, a water concrete tank up at the Place
We will
Bob
apply
Evans.
again. Yeah.
Okay.
It's ridiculous. I just have to say it's ridiculous because New York State has so much money in this fund. And they're always complaining about how, well, we've got all this money, we need to give it up. Well, we keep applying. We have a real project with need and I don't know what.
We have a current engineering report for, I think we're ready. to
Is
go.
there an office, a person?
Just keep knocking on the door.
Is there a person? Do we know?
I have a contact for the 60% stuff, but I mean, that's a particular line, there are other lines to go down. So
Yeah,
Maybe
we-
it's time to maybe write some letters to our assembly person,
We already have the,
senators.
we already have the engineering report.
Yeah, I know, we got a lot, so
We
I
got a
just
lot.
wonder if maybe you gotta do some lobbying in person or something.
Yeah.
I don't mind taking a trip to Albany. It's not that far.
All right,
That's all I have.
that's all you had. Kevin, you have anything?
A little bit. I was reading the Homer News and the article that Kim Hubbard put in about the business thing about Bonnie's beauty salon. That was a beautiful thing. If anybody read it,
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody did or not, but it was really well written. And I think they're doing a really good job with the Homer News.
they are doing it. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And just one thing for Elizabeth on the recreation thing, if I know like the 3-on-3 basketball thing is really popular. I don't know if Zach could tap into that and see if we could get something going on because we've got these beautiful courts down there.
True.
You know,
Yeah,
my
I don't-
grandkids go down there like every day. And then maybe if we could tack into pickleball somehow.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we definitely need to do that because that's an up and coming. Now, the one thing I will say about pickleball is, I've kind of looked into it a little bit and there are portable nets that could get put up, so.
Yeah.
Could put one up,
I mean, I'm looking
yeah,
to take full advantage of the beautiful course that we have down there.
and that would be kind of one of those things that, you know, if you put it up during the daytime when kids are in school, they're not using the basketball.
Exactly, Hal.
The adults can get in there and use it, yeah. So we should look into that.
And painting the lines is easy.
No big deal, yep, yep. So,
Just one last thing when it comes to the Brockway Truck Show. And if we're gonna have any kind of a cornhole tournament or whatever, I'm pretty good at it. Anybody else want to sign up with me?
So Kevin, we'll start a village team.
Yeah.
More team.
I think we should.
Taking on all comers?
Yeah,
Okay. We'll make sure we put
but
that.
maybe we should be in the senior division.
No, all comers.
I do
Okay,
have that.
that's all I got.
I have one last thing. As we're going for Tree City USA, we need to establish a tree commission. We already have one volunteer, but looking for about 6 more people to fill that out. They're an advisory committee, but they do a lot of planning and organizing and management of our trees. So looking for 6 people. You don't have to have a green thumb. We got people to plant, but we need people to help.
Questions from the media?
Good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. And now we do need to go into executive session. Per New York State Public Officer Law, Article 7, Section 105, to discuss the actual.
We know that.
Yeah.